Happy Friday, scholars. We made it through our second week of virtual learning on Vista Virtual. I hope you're rocking your sunglasses just like I am. Although, to be honest, right now it's making it kind of hard to see, so I'm going to wear them on my head. So it is time for our quiz results and some shout outs. Pew, 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 pew. Let's go. But first, oh, you can't see my GIF. A very important announcement. We will be starting some reteach lessons next week. These are really similar to the lessons that we would do in small groups if we need a little bit of extra help on Fridays. They're what you're used to. We're just going to be bringing them back. So basically, reteach lessons will happen on Tuesdays and Thursdays for math. The way you will know if you are invited to a reteach is you will get an assignment called Reteach, and I'll walk you through what it's going to look like on your Google Classroom in a second. But it will post at noon, which is when your other assignments post anyway. So you'll be able to see that if you're invited to a Reteach lesson on a Tuesday or a Thursday, you'll see an assignment for today, for that day, and you'll also see the fact that you have a Reteach assignment. It'll be posted at noon, just like when lessons are posted, like I said. The reteach lessons will actually happen before office hours. So at 1:30 p.m., you will log on to the Zoom link that is in that reteach lesson assignment. Then you will do that reteach. They'll last about an hour, where they're basically going to walk you through the guided practice from the day before in case you got a little bit tricked. If you're a friend who maybe needs a little bit of help on the assignment from the day before or that day, you can still go to office hours. Like, don't you worry at all. They are still there. And office hours are every day still from 2:30 to 4 p.m. So the announcement is that we will be starting reteaches, and they will be posted on Tuesdays and Thursdays for math. For ELA, they will be Mondays and Wednesdays, but for our purposes, Tuesday, Thursday. And you'll be with either Mr. Cody or Miss Hendricks. And you'll just be getting some extra help, which is super awesome. It's kind of like an invite party thing. If you don't get invited, like I said, not a big deal. That just means like maybe you didn't need help on that specific thing that they're reteaching. We know we all have strengths. We all have things we need to make better. But you can always be going to office hours. And that's just a cute little apple. Now I'm going to show you what this will look like in your Google Classroom. So say it was next Tuesday, which is April 14th, and I'm a scholar and I log on. I will see my assignment for April 14th posted at noon, which in this case, sneak peek, connections between division and multiplication. Pew, 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 super exciting. But I will also see an assignment above it that'll say April 14th, reteach. That is a signal to me as a scholar that I have been invited and I need to go to reteach that day. So once I can go in to sort of get an idea of what the reteach will be on. You'll see a short little message. It'll say like, good afternoon at 1:30. Click the Zoom link below to go to reteach with either Mr. Cody or Miss Hendricks. When you guys get assigned to a reteach, it'll say one teacher and it'll have one Zoom link code. Got it? Yes, I'm sure you got it. Then you'll also have a form that you will be working on during that reteach that is essentially going to be like the guided practice from whatever lesson that you're getting retaught and that you need a little bit of extra practice with. So you will come as a reminder. So when you log on that either Tuesday or Thursday and you have been invited to the reteach, that is your signal that you need to at 1:30, you must be on Zoom at your link. You may go ahead and try to work on the assignment for that day. My personal recommendation would be to maybe do your ELA work first, that post at noon, and then at 1:30 come back to your math classroom and do the work with the teacher during your reteach, and then you can do your math lesson for that day. So that would be my recommendation. And then maybe you could flip-flop it on Monday, Wednesday when you have your ELA reteaches if you have that. So again, if you see this, that means you need to show up to reteach at 1:30 at Zoom. My friends who show up to those reteaches might get some special surprises. So you definitely want to make sure you are going on top of just getting that math content practice that we need. All right, superstars, that is your announcement about reteach. Let's get cracking on those quiz results and shout outs. All right, my friends, let's talk about some data points from our quiz. Let's get ready to rumble. First, As of 10 a.m. on Friday, which is a full 12 hours after the quiz was technically supposed to be due, only 37 friends took the quiz. 37. There's 86 students in the Google Classroom. That means that 43% of you took the quiz, which in my opinion is kind of not there. That's less than 50%. That means that less than half of us took the quiz that is on Google Classroom. So, to help incentivize more of you, take that quiz because that data is super important for us to have. Slash, it's a grade, so like, kind of want to do it, my friends. Here's our goal. If by Friday morning next week, after we take our quiz, because we're going to be taking a quiz every day, it's just like not every day. Holy moly, silly Miss Cupp. Every week, just like we would when we were in class. If by next Friday morning, 55% of scholars who are in the Google Classroom take their quiz. If we meet that goal, you will receive a very special Brain Break surprise guest appearance video that I will create for you. You'll be very excited. It'll be very fun, but we need to have that 55% in order to get the Brain Break surprise quiz. So if we get that 55%, that is what we will get. So let's go over. Here was our average. We had a really great average on the whole. So everyone all together who took the quiz, we got an 85% average. That is absolutely awesome. Look at all that green. My face was like, woohoo, when I saw that. I want to introduce a campus challenge, though. We know that we always love some good friendly competition. So I'm going to show you what Maryville got and what Hadley got. Eventually, we might be working towards some surprise bonuses for the campus that gets a higher score. Also, it'll incentivize you to maybe like talk to your friends who aren't taking the quizzes from your campus and be like, hey, friend. So maybe we can be working towards earning some other special surprises. Here we go. Hadley had an average of 91%, and that was their data wheel. Lots of green, looking good. Maryville had an average of 78%, also lots of green, looking good. Remember, we did have more Hadley friends take it than Maryville, so that was able to help out the score a little bit. So I'm sure when we get more people taking them, I will see these evening out. So Hadley was the winner of our campus challenge this week, and I'm sure that Maryville is going to take it from them maybe next week. We'll see who wins. All right. Here's our wall of fame. So our friends who are in the 100% club, Maryville scholars, this might be a little bit different from you, but my friends at Hadley know that I always do a wall of fame where I let people know if they made it into the 100% club, the 90% club, or the 80% club. This week, we only had a 100% club and the 80% club because there wasn't really a way to earn a 90 because of the way the points worked out. But next week, don't worry, I'm sure we'll have people in all of them. So if your name is on here, you are in the 100% club. So that 100% club is Joshua, Natalia, Juan Cisneros, Levi, Dwayne, Jojo, Isra, Alexander, Sayatsi, Donna, Destiny, Ebony, Owen, Katya, Jacqueline, Miguel, Van Don, Charles, Keelan, and Mr. Jonathan V. So go ahead and give yourself up. That's a spicy meatball cheer for getting that 100%. Way to rock it, my friends. Now, our 80% club was Christian, Angel A, Michael Espinoza, Joseph Gomez, Charlie, Kaya, and Brent. So that means those friends got 80% or somewhere in the 80% range on their quiz. Way to rock it, my friends. Let's give everybody a Texas cheer. Ready, go. Yeehaw. It sounds so lame when I do it by myself, but I'm sure it sounded much better when we did it together. All right, so let's get into what we need to actually do for today. Let's get into today's lesson. Okay, scholars, so we're going to go over the 3 questions that most people tended to get wrong on the quiz. I noticed that a lot of us rocked about 4 of the questions, but 3 were a little bit tricky. So we're going to go over them. After we go over these 3 together, there is a 2-question exit ticket that I will need you to complete in the next section. So the things that I'm saying when we go over these questions are the types of things that need to be happening in our brain. If anything I am saying is confusing to you or doesn't quite make sense, you need to go to office hours with Mr. Cody or Miss Hendricks and you need to be asking them questions. These videos are to help you, but if something's a little bit tricky, no big deal. That's what we have office hours for. However, what I am saying is the type of things that you should be thinking in your brain as you attack these problems. So let's look at this first one that some people tended to get wrong. What number makes 48 when multiplied by 6? What number makes 48 when multiplied by 6? So immediately what I start to think of is the parts of a multiplication equation. I know that there are two factors that I multiply together to get a product. So what I'm going to do here after I set up my scratch paper, which I'm sure all of you already have set yours up, no biggie, takes like 2 seconds. So I know that there's going to be some number times some number equals a product, right? That's how every multiplication equation works. So in this case, this question has given me some information. So I'm going to put that into sort of my blank multiplication equation. What number makes 48? So immediately I'm thinking makes 48. 48 must be my product. If it makes 48, that's the total amount I'm going to have. So 48 must be my product. Now, the rest of this question, what number makes 48 when multiplied by 6? I'm going to make this a different color because I'm thinking this is a factor. This is one of the numbers that I am using to multiply together to equal my total of 48. So when multiplied by 6, that's a factor I do know. It's telling me one of my factors, one of the numbers that goes into this blank is 6. So in that case, what this question is really asking me is, what goes in this blank here? What this question is really asking me is what number, if I multiply it by 6, if I multiply something by 6, gives me 48. The way I'm going to solve this is I'm going to think, okay, how many groups or if I have 6 groups, if I have 6 groups of something has to equal 48, that means if I draw 6 groups and put one in each or maybe more, since putting one in at a time is kind of inefficient, if I put one in at a time to equal 48, how many will go in each group? But I'm also thinking drawing all of that's kind of an inefficient strategy, and I prefer to skip count. So I'm going to skip count it as my first strategy, and then I'll double check by drawing a picture just to make sure. So since I do know that one of my factors is 6, that's what I'm going to skip count by. And I'm going to think to myself, how many times I have to skip count by 6 to get to 48, and that will be my number that will go in here. So let's make this a little bigger so that you can see me. Actually, it's fine. So I'm going to skip count by 6s. So we know 6. I know 6 plus 6 is 12. So 2 groups of 6 is 12. Then if I go 6 plus 12, that's 18 because 2 plus 6, 2 is in my ones place, plus 6 is 8 in my ones place. Now 18, I have to count over 20, so that might be a little tricky. So I'm going to go 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I counted 6 times, and I got to 24. 24 and another 6. I know that 4 in the ones place plus 6 makes the next 10. So that's just 30. If that's tricky to you, you can just go 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 30 plus 6, I know that's 36 because there's nothing in my ones place. And then I just add 6 to get to 36. 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. Counted until I got 6 fingers up, sorry. And then I write down the number I get. 42 plus 6, you can either do, there's a 2 in the ones place, 2 plus 6 equals 8 in the ones place, and then I haven't touched my 10. Or you can think to yourself, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. And we finally got to 48. So I remember I stop once I get to my product, and I think, how many times did I have to count by 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the number that goes into that blank is 8. If I have to have 6 groups, 8 will go in each. Let's double check it with the modeling strategy just in case. So If I need 6 times 8, that means I have 6 groups of 8. I'm going to draw my 6 groups. And I'm thinking to myself that 48 is an even number, which means I can count by twos and reach it. So I'm actually going to try to put 2 in each and see if I can get to my number. So I'm going to go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48. So I put 48 things. In this case, it worked out. There is an equal amount in each group, which I can see by separating out my little groups of 2. I see that there are 4 groups of 2 in each of my groups. And so I can just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's going to be 8 in each group. If you don't believe me? Pick any of these groups, count. I promise you there are 8 little dash marks in there. So in that case, I know that the number that goes in, the missing factor, 8 is 8. The missing factor is 8. 6 times 8 equals 48. Or 8 times 6 equals 48. We know that we can multiply factors in any order. So that means that my answer choice, I'm going to come down and I'm going to look, okay, do I have 8 as an answer choice? I do. I know a good mathematician is always going to look at those other answer choices, though, to make sure that they're not tricked. Because we know that people who create these tests like to be pretty tricky. So let's double check. 6 groups of 6. Is that going to get me to 48? I'm not even going to bother doing this work because I already did it. That's what's great about showing our work. You can use it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups of 6. If I skip counted by 6 times, I only get to 36. Is that 48? No, it is not 48. So I know that 6, kick it off answer island, hope it can swim. It's not the right answer. 7 times 6 or 6 times 7. If I have 6 groups of 7, will that give me my answer? Let's check. Using my 6s that I already did. Let's see, I come to 7. No, that's 42. So you go ahead and kick that guy off answer island. We're already pretty confident it's 8. I know that 9 isn't going to be an answer because if I already got to 48 with 8 in each group, if I put another 1 in each group, I'm going to get a bigger answer than 48. Also, I know that all multiples of 9, we talked about this in our investigations with fat families. I know that all multiples of 9, I can add the 2 digits and equal 9. I cannot add 4 plus 8 and equal 9. So can't be a multiple of 9 there. So our correct answer then was 8. All right, let's move on to the next one that seemed to give people a bit of a hard time. Well, would you look at that? It's another missing factor question. I'm so glad that we can use the strategies we just practiced to try to attack this problem as well. So it says to find the missing factor. What number? So it says something times 9 equals 81. Something times 9 equals 81. So some groups of 9 equals 81. And first I'm going to do, just like a good mathematician does, I'm going to look at my answer choices and see if I can maybe eliminate some off the bat, if I can kick some off of answer island, right? So I'm going to think to myself, okay, what do I know about 9 in groups of 9? Well, something that I like to do is I always just try to multiply by 10 and see where that is and see how reasonable my answer choices are. So if I think, well, what's 10 groups of 9, right? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. So 10 times 9 equals 90. 9 times 10 equals 90. So I'm thinking to myself, I know already if I were to I'll put it in pencil since I'm going to be erasing it because I know it's not the correct answer. I know if I were to stick 10 into that blank, that actually would equal 90. So I know that 10 times 9 equals 90. So I know that whatever, and because I know that 90 is a lot bigger than 81, I know that whatever goes in this blank here has to be less than 10. Because if I have 10 groups of 9 and that's already too much to equal 81, if it's greater than 81, then I know whatever factor I'm going to stick in here has to be less than 10. So I'm looking at my answer choices. Okay, does 90 seem reasonable? Evaluate. Does it sound like 90 groups of 9 would equal 81? I hope a lot of you are doing this right now. If you are, kiss your brain. Yeah, no, 90 groups of 9 does not sound reasonable to equal 81 because we just talked about how 10 groups of 9 is already too much. It creates way too much. It's more than 81. It's more than that final number I'm looking for. It's more than the product I need. So a value like 90, which is way bigger than 10, no, kick it off answer island. All right, let's look at that next answer. 72. If I had 72 groups of 9, would I get to 81? I hope a lot of you are doing this because ding, ding, ding. Yeah, I would not get to 81. I would get to a number that's a lot bigger than 81 that I'm not even going to bother calculating right now because that's going to make my brain hurt a little bit. I'm going to be honest. So I know that 72 also isn't a good answer because, again, 72 is a lot bigger than 10. Could you imagine drawing 72 groups of 9? Your hand would start to hurt. No, that's way bigger than 81, so I'm not even going to bother calculating it. Now I'm looking at my last two answer choices here, 9 and 8. Both of those are like around 10, which means they're probably more reasonable, and I'm going to go ahead and give those a try. So the way that I'm going to solve this problem is I know that I can always skip count by whatever factor I do know, in this case 9, to try to get to 81. So I'm going to skip count by 9 until I get to 81. I'm going to go ahead and use my finger rolling song since I love the skip counting song for 9s. If you're a Maryville scholar, you're like, Miss Cupp, what is the finger rolling thing you speak of? I'll link the video for your 9 song in the assignment that you can give it a check out. But my Hadley scholars who do know it, go ahead and get your hands up. We know that we go VCP, good as gold. Let me see your fingers roll. 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72. It's great to be alive. 81. Oh, as much as I love the song, I'm going to stop singing it because I already got to 81. Now I just need to count how many fingers I have up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8, 9. Remember, each one of these fingers is worth 9 because I went 9, 18, 27, 36, 45. Yeah, you got the drill. So I have 9 fingers up. 9 groups of 9 equals 81. So I know in this blank, the missing factor is 9. To double check, I'm going to skip count. I'm going to say 9. 9 plus 9 is 18. If I add 9 to 18, I get 27, 36. Remember, my friends, we notice that pattern when we skip counted by 9s, that as the 10s go up by 1, the 1s go down by 1. So if I had 36, my 10s place goes up by 1. 40, my 1s place goes down by 1. 6 becomes 5. My 10s place goes up by 1. 40 becomes 50. My 1s place goes down by 1. 5 becomes 4. 10s place goes up by 1. 50 becomes 60. 1's place goes down by 1. 63. You know the drill. I end at 81 because that's the product that I need. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 is that missing factor. Checked it with 2 strategies because I'm a super smart mathematician, just like you. So I know that 9 is my answer. I'm going to look at that last answer, make sure it's also not a correct answer. Yeah, 8 times 9 is not going to equal 81 because we just proved that 8 groups of 9 is 72. Use your work. So I'm going to kick that guy off answer island. Bye. Oh, I didn't even get there. There we go. Bye. And now let's scroll down and look at that last problem that seemed to be giving some kids some tricky times. All right. So my friends, I know this problem looked a little bit different, but this is a very similar problem to something we did throughout the week. So this is a good sign that if you got this problem wrong, or if this one, if the answer that we get isn't the answer you put in yesterday, we need to really be watching those videos and making sure we go to office hours to ask questions if we're a little bit tricked, okay? Because this is very similar to something we did early in the week, but we're still going to practice it. So according to the story problem, Kyle has 9 packs of gum. Immediately, I think packs of means groups of. A pack is just a gum pack, is what gum comes in. So that means he has 9 groups. I'm actually going to go ahead and mark it on here. It's really hard to write, but I'm going to do my best. My P got a little messed up. Here we go. Groups. I'm even going to write it here. He has 9 groups of 5. Well, I know that a mathematician reads a multiplication sign as groups of, so I know this actually means 9 times 5 equals, and it's my job to figure out what the product is, what it equals, right? So I'm going to say P, just have a variable in there. 9 times 5 equals, it's my job to figure it out. Now, here's what's super cool about showing your work. What did we skip count by in the other problem? Show me on your hands. Yeah, we skip counted by 9s. I know 9 groups of 5. That's the same thing as equivalent to 5 groups of 9. What's 5 groups of 9? Go up to your skip counting. 1 group of 9, 2, 3, 4, 5. Apparently, 5 groups of 9 is 45. We can double check it though by counting by 5s. So let's actually do 9 groups of 5. We just proved, I'll write it down though for what we just did. We know that 5 times 9 equals 45 because of our work we did in the previous problem. How cool is that? Sorry, my arrow looks a little funky. But let's prove that they're congruent. Let's prove that they're equivalent by doing 9 groups of 5, which means we just get to count by 5s, which is super fun, 9 times. Let's go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. I got 9 fingers up. Just counted by 5s. Got 45 again. So in this case, we know that our answer here is 45. So you're going to type 45 into here. If you wanted to show your skip counting work, all you would do was count 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Or you can think smarter and not harder and use the work that you already did. Just a thought. All right, my friends, so that's the review from the quiz that we did yesterday. I know that I already mentioned this, but I'm going to mention it again because I do want to emphasize the fact that we grade these quizzes and it's super, 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 super duper important for you to be trying your best on them. Trying your best looks like doing every problem twice because that's what checking your work means. It's really hard to do a 7-question quiz with doing every problem twice in less than 5 minutes. So just like I did for some of you yesterday, if on a quiz I see you rushing, where it's very clear to me that you did not do your best work, I'm simply going to reopen it and have you do it again. And you will not have a grade for that assignment until you do the quiz to your best ability. It doesn't really make sense why you would try to rush through and just put really random answers, because that to me just shows me you need more practice, which means we will keep doing these problems. But if you really want to show me that you're a master at the math, take your time and do it right, my friends. All of you guys can show such a variety of strategies. Use your time. It's totally not a big deal. Plus, remember, if you're getting 100% on those quiz, that means those assignments on Friday might just be some prodigy instead. So make the right choice, my friends. All right, so when you click next here, you will have a 2-question exit ticket that I need you to take. It'll look very familiar to some work that we just did. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Use your work. Once you rock and roll on this, you will click submit. Double check once you go back to the classroom that it is clicked and marked as turned in. I'm pretty sure now that once we click submit, it should say it's turned in. If it doesn't say turned in, that means we haven't gotten it yet. So please make sure you click mark as done. Cool? Cool. All right, my friends, rock and roll on your exit ticket, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Quick reminder on how to check your work if you are to see if you are missing assignments. So what you'll do is you will go to the classwork section of your Google Classroom, which you're all very familiar with finding at this point. Then you will find view your work. So if this is my classwork section here, so this is classwork, make sure that you're on the right spot. So you should see daily lessons. Then you're going to see something that says view my work. I went ahead and circled it here. It should be right above. If you click on this button, it will take you to all of the assignments that have been assigned. If you see something that says missing and you know that you did not do it, then you need to go ahead and do that assignment. If you see something that says missing and you know that you clicked submit on that Google form, like if it's from something from last week, so if it's from March 30th, through April 2nd, don't worry about it. Only make up the work from this week. So anything starting on April 6th through today, if you see a missing button, you need to go ahead and complete that assignment.